Good morning, class. So our agenda for today is we'll finish the reporters, okay? And after that, we'll have a discussion in full support documentation. Okay? So sino yung first reporter natin for today? Last 5 na lang, di ba? Or kung gusto niyo mag-volunteer, yung hindi pa tapos, you can do so also. Okay, Cheryl, if you're ready, go ahead. Okay, that's what I want to hear. Go ahead, Lester. Okay, mag-react naman kayo dyan kung nandito na kayo. Isang
Okay. Kita po ba, sir?
yes, Lester, kita.
Okay po.
Ano muna
Okay,
tayo?
open. Ay, sige.
Yes, open cam. Okay. Then, ipipin kita. To our... Okay.
Okay, start na po ako. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So, ayun nga, I'll be presenting the hazards that I identified in around my environment here dito sa bahay namin, which are physical, biological, chemical, and psychological hazards. So first, sa physical hazard, ito actually yung view sa itaas ko kasi yan yung parang ano, yeah, ito yung view sa itaas ko kasi um, uh, parang ano eh, more or less nandito ako sa yung pwesto ng kwarto ko is dating bodega tapos inayos na lang para maging kwarto. So ano yan, mga lumang bagay. So hopefully one day or hopefully hindi siya mahulog sa akin, preferably habang tulog ako or something like that. So ang mitigation strategy na ginagawa ko is check ko yung support beams niya. Merong isa doon. Ito sa dalawang gilid ko. So, I regularly check them. Check ko kung mauga ba sila, kung unstable sila. Tapos kung uh, unstable sila, ina-adjust ko para maging, naglalagay ako ng additional supports para hindi siya maging unstable, para maging stable siya. Tapos nalagyan ko rin ng tali para mas maging secure yung pagkakalagay niya. Next is biological hazard. Hindi yan picture ng outside. What I'm describing is dahil sa malapit rin ako sa bintana, sobrang prone, hindi naman sobrang prone, pero pagbukas yung curtain na to, masyadong malamok. So ang ginagawa, masyadong malamok, which is um, ayun, masyadong malamok, which is rather a huge problem kasi hindi ako maganda, hindi maganda yung ano pag sakitin ako basically is what I'm trying to say. Pero mitigation ko dyan is sinasara ko na lang siya usually kasi that works a lot. Mas nagle-lessen yung pagpasok ng lamok. Tapos alternatively gumagamit rin ako ng katol which is very effective. Next is chemical hazard, yung LPG. Kasi ang tuturo kasi palagi sa amin na, I mean, obviously, it's just like for safety purpose na kung buksan mo lang ang LPG kung gagamitin mo, pero for some reason, marami pa rin, especially yung kapatid ko, na nakakalimot, patayin yung, ano, so, pag nakikita ko nagluluto siya, tapos aalis na lang siya pag tapos na siya kumain, check ko pa rin kung nasara niya ng maayos. Usually, nasasara naman niya ng maayos, pero kadalasan, hindi. So, ayun, yun nga yung mitigation na ginagawa ko. Then double check ko kung nasara ba niya yung um, ang tawag dyan, yung valve para hindi magkaroon ng gas leak, mag-cause ng mas malaki pang problema and all that. And lastly, psychological, kasi sa area namin, um, manipis lang yung pader. As in, yun, isang pader lang yung pagitan. So, kadalasan, um, maririnig mo talaga yung ingay ng kapitbahay, yung sa umaga pagkagising mo may nagbabangayan, hindi ka nakakatulog na maayos. So sa gabi, minsan late na sila nagkakaraoke for some reason. So, ang mitigation strategy na ginagawa ko to lessen the like psychological uh, effects of it is earphones. Not only that it lessens the noise, pwede rin ako makinig sa music to calm myself down or to lessen the stress and just ultimately to be more chill. And ayun, maraming salamat po. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thanks, Lester. And next, Irvin, then si Cheryl. Irvin. Oh, not here. Okay, go, Cheryl. Then Medrano. Oh, wait. Tama. Yeah. Nagsasalita ka na ba, Cheryl?
Hindi na po.
Okay, yan. Karinig na.
Hello po, audible. Hello po, sir. Rinig niyo po.
Yes, narinig na.
Sige nga, kung rinig niyo ako, heart react kayo. Wala nagsasalita.
Now you know the feeling.
Yan. So, start ko na kami. Yan, kita niyo na ako. Thank you, Jen, Master. So, let's start. So, good morning, everyone. So, I'm Cheryl, and I'll be identifying mitigation hazards in environment doon sa workplace ko. So, welcome to Glass Tower, by the way. It's located in Ortigas. So first and foremost, why is it important to identify? So basically, it's important to identify para maging proactive tayo and ma-prevent natin yung hazards and risks from happening, especially in our workplace. And here's the physical hazards. What you can see is a poor and inadequate lighting. So above there, although this is for aesthetics, medyo big distraction siya since nagpa-flicker yung lights. And this one naman po, since kulang sa lighting, medyo may area na dim. And it's kind of distracting din as well since may area na hindi mo gano'n nakikita kung may matatapakan ka ba, kung malinis ba yung area na yon. So, ang nakikita dyan is basically maintained naman ng maintenance natin. So, for the next physical hazard naman is ergonomic hazards. As you can see, these are the PC setups doon and yung ergonomic chairs namin. And as you can see, pag end of shift na kasi, hondang-honda na mga people, lalayas na yan. Usually, ganyan na makikita nyo PC na nakaiwan, halos laglag yung mouse. Syempre kasi uwing-uwi ng mga people, tapos nakabalandra yung mga chair, which is malaking cost siya ng accident or prone to accident if hindi siya na ayos or let's say, playgo na rin. So, ang mitigation dyan is to always leave your station palagi na malinis din kung paano mo siya dinatnan. And then, lagi mo itatabi yung chair mo. And if hindi naman kaya ng iba, doesn't mean na hindi mo na rin gagawin. So, idami mo na rin yung katabi mo and maliit na bagay lang naman yan and nakakatulong din siya sa maintenance. And next one is gonna be biological hazards. So, basically micro biochemicals as well. And you can see there are open lids yung sa bathroom namin. Although kompleto kami ng materials, but that doesn't mean na wala nang gagawin on your behalf. Since gumagamit ka rin naman, to mitigate this is to always close the lids and para na rin hindi kumalat yung infection if there's any and for any biological waste na makontaminate ng maike. And the next one is gonna be chemical hazards. So you can see here yung fire extinguisher namin. And then there's always this gluey thing para siyang insect traps, ganon. Although wala naman daga sa office namin, may area na malamok, especially sa locker areas and yung mga liblib na lugar like this. So, ang mitigation here is monthly siya, yung fire extinguisher, halos monthly siya, chine-check ng maintenance namin, and then yung mga chemical materials namin is naka-contain here sa isang room. And then there's always labels or instructions kung paano gagamitin yung microwave, yung coffee maker namin, and then syempre paalala na rin on other things like paano i-maintain tong coffee area namin. And then for psychological hazard, workplace, since mabigat yung workload sa amin, it's kind of stressing then. I believe everyone is familiar with stress naman. So how do we alleviate this stress din ba sa work? So sometimes we do potlucks, we eat out, and for our supports, and for everyone na rin, we take our breaks seriously. So if one po talaga na mag-break na pangmalakas ng break. Lumabas ka ng office, pumunta ka sa park, sandali, and then para naman mawala sa isip mo yung work and maging stress-free din for a while. So that's all for me. Para lang healthy ang place, kailangan lang natin maging maingat din and mapamatyag. And that's all for me. I hope everyone was able to catch up yung thoughts ko and have a view na rin on our workplace din. Goods ba yun? Andyan pa ba kayo? Ayun, thanks so much for listening. Bye!
Thanks. Thanks, Shaq. Next, please.
Kita po ba yung presentation?
Yes.
Ay. Ay. Ayan, so good morning po. My name is Rebecca. So these are my identified hazards po sa bahay namin. So una-una po is pa tayo mag ay, sorry po, hindi po pala itin. Ito. Ayan. Ayan, so identifying and mitigating hazards in my environment. Ito po, yan, yung physical hazards. So yung physical hazard po sa bahay namin na nakita ko is yung cabinet po na nakadikit sa wall. Yung mga gamit po kasi namin is mambabasagin. So minsan po naiiwan lang siya na nakabukas. So if may possible po siya na mahulog since puno po lagi yung cabinet namin. So mitigation ko po na nilagay is I always check po na naka-close siya lagi. Kasi pwede yung edge din po nung pinto ng cabinet, pwede din po siyang makatusok, lalo na may bata din po sa amin pag hindi siya napansin. Yan. And then for my biological hazard is yung sa grease trap po. So nung unang nilipat kasi namin dito, hindi po kasi namin masyado napapansin yung sa grease trap. So may tendency po siya na mapuno. So pag napuno po siya, kapag naghugas na ng mga pinggan sa lababo, tumatapon na po yung laman niya sa loob, tumatapon na po yung laman ng grease trap. Kaya ang mitigation po namin is pinapalinis po siya every month para po hindi siya mamaho. Kasi yun nga po, sobrang baho niya kapag hindi siya napapalinis agad. And then yun din po yung advice nung naglilinis ng grease trap sa amin na every month po ipalinis. Kasi po may possible din po siya na mag-attract ng mga ipis or daga. And then for chemical hazard naman po, ito yung mga po namin dito, yung mga ginagamit namin panglinis ng CR, mga panligo, yung mga panglinis po ng mukha, ganyan. Nakakalat po siya lagi, and then may bata po kami. So possible po na magamit niya in a different ways yung mga chemical products na meron kami. So, lagi po namin pag nakakalat naman po, lagi naman po namin inaayos. Sineseparate naman po namin yung mga panlinis ng CR ng bahay dun sa ibang gamit na possible na galawin ng bata. And then, for psychological hazard naman po, isa psychological hazard na napansin ko po is yung sa four corners ng kwarto. Kasi yun po, after po gumawa ng mga assignments, and then yun nga po, pag pumasok sa kwarto, hindi po siya nasisinatan masyado ng kwarto kasi lagi po siyang lagi po naka-close yung blinds, and then sa labas po kasi hallway na po siya. So, pag may dumaan po, makikita yung loob ng kwarto. Lagi po siyang sinasara. Kaya, yun nga po, after gumawa ng mga requirements sa loob lang po ng kwartong diretso, or sa loob lang po ng kwarto, nasa loob lang po ng kwarto lagi. And lagi po siyang madilim. So, minsan nag, nag, nakakapag-cause din po ng stress sa akin. So, ang mitigation po na nilagay ko is lagi po akong umakyat sa taas, sa may roof deck. Kasi may mga store naman din po sa taas. Pwede naman po dun kumain habang tumatambay. And then, parang ang therapeutic din po kasi pag nakikita mo yung city lights. And then, mahangin din po. Kaya, yun rin naisip ko na mitigation, since yun din naman po yung ginagawa ko. So, yun lang naman po yung for hazards na nandito sa bahay.
Thanks, Becca. And last two, presenter. Okay. So, Madrana.
Mabuksan mo yung pin. So, nakikita po ba yung yung PPT ko po?
Yes.
So, good morning everyone. So, ito po yung report ko po sa pag-identify and mitigate po nung hazards po sa bahay namin. So, the first one is biological hazard. So, yung una ko talagang naisip nun sa biological hazard namin, sir, is ito pong basurahan po namin since nasa loob po kasi siya ng bahay. And parang syempre alam naman natin na yung basurahan is maraming diseases and viruses yung parang nilalaman niya kapag nagtatapon tayo ng mga basura, like ayan, kunyari example yung mga mga leftover food kasi sir, madalas talaga nagtatapon kami diyan. So possible na bahayan siya ng mga uod, ganun po, or pwedeng puntahan ng mga daga na which is pwede pong makakos sa amin pwede pong makakos sa aming well-being. Pwede po kami magkasakit, ganyan, or mga skin diseases kapag po dumapo yung mga insekto or yung uod or possible. So yung pinaka-mitigation po talaga namin dyan is parang regularly po naming tinatapon yung basura para po maiwasan po yung pagkalat po nung virus sa bahay. Ayun po. So yung the second one po is psychological hazard. So yung pinaka-psychological hazard sa amin, sir, is ito pong ano po, yung gripo po sa kitchen po namin. Since parang recently po kasi sir, parang kahit nakapihit naman na yung gripo namin, parang may naglilik na tubig. Which is parang syempre, parang nakaka-stress siya nun sa amin kasi possible po na lumaki po yung kuryente po namin sa tubig. So parang yung pinaka-mitigation po namin talaga dyan na ginawa sir, parang yung pinaka-metro po, pinapatay po namin para po totally wala na pong maglilik na tubig. Parang habang hindi pa po inaayos talaga. So yan po yung pinaka-solution po na ginawa namin. So yung sa chemical po is etong kalan po namin. So para kasi so sa kalan kasi 'di ba may gas, may mga yung chemical na possible na kapag hindi namin napihit ng maayos yung kalan, possible na mag-leak yung gas and mag-cause siya sa amin ng pagkahilo and ubo or worse po ma-hospitalize po kami. So yung pinaka-mitigation po namin dyan is parang mini-make sure po namin na dapat laging nakapihit ng maayos yung ayan sir, yung pihitan. Tapos yung burner sir, mini-make sure din po namin na dapat hindi siya yung umuuga kapag ginagalaw mo siya. Para, well, para ma-assure po namin na wala talagang gas na maglilik. So yung pinaka last one po sir is etong physical hazard. Yung overcharging po ng phone. Parang guilty ako dyan sir kasi madalas talaga especially kapag matutulog. Parang iniiwan ko lang siyang naka-charge tapos pag umaga tsaka ko lang siya bubunutin sa saksa which is hindi siya healthy kasi possible na kapag nag-overheat yung phone ko is sasabog siya ganun or worse masunog yung bahay namin. So parang pinaka-mitigation ko po na ginawa dyan is parang ayun ini-educate ko yung sarili ko na parang i-practice na wag nang mag-charge kapag matutulog. Para maiwasan na po yung pag-overheat ng phone and maiwasan na po yung worst scenario po sa bahay. So yun lang po. Thank you.
And our last reporter, are you here? Not? Okay, so let's start the discussion. Irvin, nandito ko kanina. What happened to him? May nakakaalam ba ano nangyari sa kapatid natin si Irvin? Nang okay, so let's start the discussion. Are you still here? Can you give me a thumbs up, everyone? Hello? Okay. Install ko lang yung mic saglit. Mic check. Hello? Okay. Share sound. Oh, walang share sound button. Wait lang. Nag-iba yung interface. Nice. Okay. So first rule of the thumb for any workplace. Okay, so if it isn't in writing, It didn't happen, period. Okay? So that's why we always use the documentation for everything. Kasi 'di ba, yung verbal evidence is as yun yung pinaka lowest form of evidence, 'di ba? Pag napunta kayo sa field ng investigation or whatever, um, scientific field, pag verbal lang yung evidence mo, usually that's the lowest form of evidence, 'di ba? Kahit sabi mo na ano, nakakita ako ng alien first hand, abduction, alien abduction. Pero wala kang evidence, ano lang, verbal lang, okay? Probably they won't believe it. Pero kasi may napanood ako ano, documentary, yung isang buong school, binisita sila ng mga aliens. And watching that movie and uh, yung mga interview ng mga bata, may before and after kasi. Yung assessment ko, totoo yung mga aliens. Totoo, class. Sa Africa, may school doon na binisita ng ano, mga aliens. Then, nagkaroon sila ng interaction. Then, pag pinanood mo yung movie na yun, I therefore conclude that it is true. Though, yun nga, no hard evidence, but just for the interview, I can say na totoo yung mga nangyari sa school na yun. Alright. So yeah, if it is it in writing, it didn't happen. Period. So our objectives is understand the importance of documentation, differentiate media, data, and information, different types of media, and we'll have a task, but not that one. I revised that task, the last task. Okay, paunahan class. Nakita nyo na eh. Sino nakakalam kung ano to? Okay, sa chat may reward yung unang makakasagot. What is this? 1, 2, 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eh, isend nyo sa everyone. Arab? No? Wala na. Wala na. Exempted sana yung makakasagot nito pero wala eh. Wala, it's too late. Okay. May nakapasok before ko sinarado yung ano. So, how did you know that this is the Laguna Copper Plate, Lester?
Kasi po sir, sa micro-teaching dati, ginawa kong topic is baybayin po. So, binasa ko marami akong binasa. Tapos nakita ko siya sa isa sa mga document na yun. Parang sinasabing, parang isa siyang evidence na noon pa man, may form of writing na yung mga, may pre-Hispanic, may form of writing na yung mga Filipino. Ayun po.
Okay. Therefore, I will give you the reward of being exempted in our second activity in post-support documentation. Okay? So you're the first one who get it and you are exempted. Okay. So yes, that's correct. This is the Laguna Copper Plate. And this is the earliest form of documentation found here in the Philippines. Okay? So before, sabi ng mga Spaniards that we don't have uh, a sort of flourishing community but this is a proof that we have a sophisticated society even before the Spanish came. So hindi totoo na yung Spanish yung nag-civilize sa ating mga Filipino. Kasi even before uh, they came, we already have a very sophisticated society. So civilized na tayo. And this is the proof of that. the Laguna Copper Plate. Okay, so what is the content of the earliest form of documentation? Natawa ako sa ano, sa icon na sinend ni Rebecca. Okay, so here it is. The inscription is a document demonstrative of pre-Hispanic literacy and culture and is a national treasure. Okay. So yung copper plate na yun is a national treasure. It is currently deposited at the National Museum of Anthropology in Manila. It is the earliest document that shows the use of math in pre-colonial Philippine society. Okay, the earliest known evidence for written literature in the history of the Philippines. The Laguna copper plate inscription is a sheet of copper metal with ancient writing discovered in the province of Laguna in 1989. Okay, so it was found by the boatman working near the mouth of Lumbang River, emptying out into the Laguna Bay. So aren't you curious what's written in the Laguna copper plate? Can you give me a thumbs up if you want to know what's written in there? Okay. Si Jessie lang ang interested. Okay, so here it is. I need a volunteer to read it for us. And Jessie, pakibasa nga ang translation ng ating Laguna copper plate.
Audible po ba ako, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Mabuhay. Taong siyaka 822 buwan ng Waisaka. Ayon sa aghamantala, ang ika-4 na araw ng pagliit ng buwan, Lunes, sa pagkakataong ito, si Dayang angkatan 10 ng kanyang kapatid na nangangalagang buka, bulaklak, na ang mga anak ng kagalang-galang na si Namuwaran ay ginawaran ng isang kasulatan na lubos na kapatawaran mula sa punong pangkahalatan sa Tondo sa pagkatawan ng punong kagawad na Paila na si Jayadewa.
So thank you, Jandy. So here it is, the translation. So the gist of the Laguna copper plate is a proof that yung pangalan niya si Buka. Nagngangalang Buka and the rest of her kin already paid their debt. Okay? So proof yon na nakabayad na sila ng utang ng Laguna copper plate na yon. Okay? So isn't it amazing na they really put it in a copper plate just to prove that they are they already paid, okay, their debt. And sa ano yan? Sa Kingdom of Tundud. Okay, so did you know that the Tondo is before Hispanic is one of the largest kingdom in the Philippines, the Kingdom of Tundud. So yun yung kinakasakupan niya. Okay, and yun yung included doon sa translation na yan. Year 822. So that is roughly 1,200 years old yung Laguna copper plate na yun. Okay. So here, the goal of documentation is to turn novices into experts. Steve Lush, a programmer. Okay, well, what is documentation? Any form, any communicable material that is used to describe, explain, or instruct regarding some attributes of an object, system, or procedure, such as its parts, assembly, installation, maintenance, and use. Okay, so documentation can be provided through a hard copy, a paper form, or it can be in a soft copy. Can access it through online or digital distribution, um, or even analog media such as audio tapes and CDs. So examples of this are user guides, white paper, online help, and quick reference guides. Paper or hard copy documentation that has become less common. Okay? Kadalasan ngayon, wala nang mga hard copy documentation or even user manual. Naging ano na siya, purely digital. So very evident ito sa industry ng video game, 'di ba? Pag bumili ka ng bagong laro, plastic case at yung CD na lang. Wala nang manual whatsoever. Unlike during the 90s, may manuals, may included manuals, may mga maps pa yan, may mga magazine subscription, booklet, so it's everything. But now, kung bumili ka ng bagong game, let's say PS4, PS5, or Nintendo Switch game, plastic case na lang, then the actual cartridge or the CD. So wala na. The hard copy becomes less and less common. So let's differentiate document and information. So document is written in a medium and information is collected from a data. Okay, so data, once you have enough data, then we can consider that as an information. Next is document should have an author. So information without authorship is possible. But for documentation, it should always have an author. Okay. So even as simple as the header of a particular document, okay, we can trace the author back there. Okay, diba? May logo. So we know where exactly that documentation come from. And information without authorship is possible. So, diba? Yung lowest form of evidence nga is yung through word of mouth. Kasi we cannot trace who is the author of that particular information. Diba? Pag may kumalat na gossip, oh, that's an information. But saan nag-originate yun? Okay, so it's difficult to trace where did it originate. Yes, yung si credit to the owner, 'di ba? So who is the owner? So yun, information siya pero it's possible na we are unable to trace who is the author of that particular information. Okay, but for documentation, it always have an author. Okay? So kahit nga yung simpleng text file, 'di ba? Nasa flash drive. Sabi mo, okay, so that's a example of text documentation, 'di ba? Notepad, note file. Now, pag ni-left click mo siya, then details, we can be able to trace kung saang PC siya, sino yung author na, yan. Mayroong mga information dun sa file na yon that we can locate the actual author. Next is information enriches the document. Document contains many information. So of course, document always have information in it. So a documentation is a good documentation if it has a lot of information in it. Okay? And yun, nag-agree sila sa part na to that the document contains many information. Now, document is always factual. why would you waste time, okay, creating documentation if it's not factual? So majority of the things that we are um, we have the user manuals, FAQs, okay, the help pages of different websites. Those are factual. Okay, it is documented. It is there for a reason, and no one will waste their time writing it if in that particular documentation will not translate into real world um, usage. Now here, information is not always factual. Okay, this is true na miscommunication through verbal form without documentation is very easy to mess up. That's why documentation is really necessary. Kasi if it's not in writing, then it didn't happen. Next is it must be published. Okay? So the moment na control save ka, okay, that's already a form of documentation. It has an author, kahit hindi mo ilagay suddenly kasi once you have a digital file, you can locate the PC it used to create that, the account. Okay, so it must be published, the documentation. And you can always trace back to the organization or the company who created that documentation. But here in information, it may not be published. And ano lang, parang information is like a unwritten rules, di ba? Pasa-pasa lang, pero hindi naka-publish. Di ba, class? That's the information. Parang sa basketball, di ba? Pag nilalaro kayo ng basketball, yung unwritten rule sa basketball, kapag tambak na yung kalaban, then last 5 to 10 seconds na lang. Kung tambak na yung kalaban, may oras ka pa. Kahit libreng-libre ka, i-shot mo na lang, hindi mo ipapasok yon kasi that's written rule. Parang courtesy na lang sa kalaban mo, di ba? Tambak na nga sila, then hindi mo pa, wala ka pang mercy. Tinambakan mo pa lalo. So, minsan nagkakagulo doon. Though, hindi naman, wala namang naka-indicate na hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun. Pero, that is an information that is common knowledge to basketball players, but it's not written anywhere. Okay? And wala sa rule book yun. Pero yun yung sinusunod ng mga player. Okay? So it may not be published. So yung information. Okay, so difference between data and information. Data is raw, okay, unorganized facts that need to be processed pa. Okay, so data can be something that simple and seemingly random and useless until it is organized. Then information, when data is processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context so that as to make it useful, it is called information. For example of data is your height and your weight. Okay, that's uh, an example of data. As it is, okay, raw data pa lang siya. Pero if you combine these two data, that will become information. And yung information na yon is to identify if you are overweight, okay, underweight, obese, or um, average weight. Okay, so we have two data here, height, weight. We organize them, and then yung body mass index mo, that's the information. Comes from two data. Okay? So, yun lang lagi. Yung mga data and information. Okay? So, parang ano, di ba? Para information, parang group of organs, they work together to become a system. So, yun, information is the system. Yeah, that's the metaphor of that. That's the connection between data and information. Data is raw and organized, while information is already processed that can be useful to us. Diba? If you know that you are underweight, now that information is useful, and that information comes from different types of data from you. Okay, so since you are able to use that information that's useful to you, then you will do certain adjustment if you want to live another year. Okay, yan. Next is, where do we store those documentation? Okay, so the communication outlets or tools used to store and deliver information or data. Okay, so saan ba natin nilalagay yung mga documentation? It can be in a form of a um, text, okay, picture, sound, or video, or even interactive media. So yun yung different media where we can store information. Okay? So parang evolved ng evolved, di ba? If you have a lot of data, then that's information. If you have a lot of information, that's documentation. Now, where do you put those documentation? To different types of media. Okay, yun lang yung concept na we are trying to understand here, to establish here. Now we have different types of media. Okay, next, what you should be documenting anyway. There's a lot of fields that needs documentation. Not actually a lot, but I think all fields needs documentation. Geography, cultural, scientific, financial, statistical, meteorological, natural, transport. So they all need um, documentation for it to function properly. Okay, kahit sa mga sarili natin, di ba? We are composed of different types of data. We can track those by using different types of devices, okay, such as smartwatch, can use that data to know if our goal is to walk 10,000 steps a day, then our smartwatch will help us achieve that. Okay, so let's say 6,000 ka pa lang, then you need to walk another 4,000 steps. Then opening a banking, okay, different types of data that needs to be collected is your, of course, full name, your address, contact numbers, your references, smartphone app usage. Okay, it collects your data, your GPS tags, where you've been, ano yung mga store na may transaction ka. Okay, so yun. Once company have these different types of data and store it, enough information, then they will give it back to you in a form of advertisement, diba? And personality traits, yun, if are you more introverted or extroverted person, they will be able to identify that. Interest and your preferences, diba? Um, yung mga answers mo sa surveys, your social media movements, activities in social media, can use that, and your emotions and values and belief. I'm not sure if I shared this to you before, Cas, but in US, just by collecting the data from your shopping pattern, 'di ba? Pag nag-grocery ka, um, pag nag-grocery ka, mayroon kang punta ka kung saang aisle ka madalas magpunta. Okay? Yung simple uh, algorithm lang na yun, they can be able to identify what's happening in your life. So yun na nga. The story goes like this. There is a household that keeps on receiving pamphlet from, I think it's Walmart, about baby health. Okay, so about sa pregnancy, starter pack, yung mga ganun. Mga uh, mga formula milk, about sa morning sickness, basta mga about sa pregnancy and having a baby. Then, lugta kayong yung household na yun. Bakit nakaka-receive kami ng mga pamphlet na ganito or mga voucher na related sa pregnancy? Wala namang sa bahay namin ah. Then, tumawag sila sa Walmart. Ba't daw ganun? Naka-receive sila ng mga ganung pamphlet. Sabi ng Walmart, that's automatically generated to our customers depending on their shopping pattern inside our store, on what aisle, kung ano yung aisle na iniiwasan nila kasi that will trigger, vomiting to a pregnant, and kung saan sila madalas nag-stay, yon. Just by those information, they're able to identify that household has someone that is pregnant. Then, few months later, they found out that their daughter is pregnant just by going to the grocery store. Yun yung power of different types of data. If you organize it well, mas magiging informed ka pa more than the parents of that particular customer. So if you organize data very well, you can be able to identify what's happening to a person's life more than the person that is closest to her. Okay, so ito yung different types of uh, media na we can store the documentation. So static, it doesn't move the text and graphics or pictures. And we have a dynamic video, audio, animation. Okay, these are the form of documentation. We can store this documentation. And meron pang isang category na wala dito. Yun ay ang interactive media. Such as yung interactive museum sa Europe, yung kung saan naka-display si Mona Lisa. I think it's pronounced as Louvre. Yan, yung Louvre Museum. 'Di ba may interactive museum. Just by using an app, you can visit virtual museum. So that's an example of interactive media. But that's a topic for another day. Interactive media. Dito muna tayo sa static and dynamic elements. Pero ngayon, another category is the interactive media, such as Google Earth, diba? That's an interactive media. Or even video games. That's all uh, interactive media. Paano mo papasok yung documentation doon? It's a documentation. Let's say if you are playing a game, diba? May documentation yun ng mga army, mga civilization before that. So yan, it's a form of documentation. And I think that's the highest form of documentation kasi given enough time, enough technology, interactive media is really indistinguishable to reality. So what other documentation there is rather than importing you to the actual reality. Okay, so we have um, four basic principles for user interface. Okay, this is still related to the documentation, but before that, I'll play this video here. Watch this first.
Your heart's beating around the clock. Time ticking away, it doesn't stop. Evolution is taking place. The world is spinning and changing every day. Anything you think of with a name. There isn't anything in life that ever stays the same. Everything changes, changes.
Okay, what can you say about the um that montage of changes? Anyone who wants to say something about the video? Raise your hand or unmute. None? Yes, Jesse. What can you say about that clip?
Ano po sir, yung sa clip po nakita ko po yung upgrades and changes po nung mga ah, computers po from
Mm,
from black and white to colored.
okay, good observation.
Thank you.
Evolution of system from Chantal. And one more. Let's ask Dave. Are you with us? What can you say about the video clip? John Dave. John Dave. Okay, Urban. Oh, nandito ka na, Urban. What happened to you?
Hello po, hello.
Oh, yes.
Napansin ko lang po dun sa habang tumatagal po, mas nagiging simple yung interface ng mga OS.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Probably nag-a-adapt sila ng mga minimalistic, you know, changes. Nakaka-LSS daw. Ba't hindi ka nakapag-present, Urban? Ano nangyari sa'yo?
May inasikaso lang po eh.
Okay, so hindi ka na magpa-present.
Magpe-present sir. Ready ako eh.
Yeah. So, present ka some other time. All right, one more. Nona, what can you say about the video clip?
Good
What did
morning,
you
sir.
observe? Hello, good morning.
Ano po, napansin ko lang po yung katulad din po kay Jessie, yung evolution po ng every Windows. Um, Iba-iba po siya. Like, dumadagdag or dumadami po yung feature na nagkakaroon doon. And more on, nagiging necessary na po siya ngayong modern era po.
Okay, thank you, Nana. How about uh Rasar? What can you say about the video clip? Maria? Maria Rasar, are you with us? Okay. So si Dave and Maria unresponsive. How about let's hear it from Gerald.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Gerald.
Ano po yung question, sir? Sorry.
What can you say about the video? Have you seen the video?
Yes po, sir.
Okay.
Sir, yung kagaya ng sinabi nga ni Erwin, parang ang every transition ng mga Windows, yung user interface niya is nagiging user-friendly and mas madali siyang intindihan and gamitin. Kasi parang yung mga naunang Windows, sir, parang mas complicated pa siya kasi marami pang buttons. Tapos as time goes by, as time na nag-innovate and nag upgrade sa mga Windows, mas madali mas madali na siyang gamitin kasi mas umonti yung mga buttons and mas madaling intindihan yung mga buttons. Ayun lang po, sir.
Okay, good observation. Now let's talk the some user interface, okay, basic user interface. And we have user interface, of course, for us to human can interact with the different types of software, okay? So we have two categories of software. First is the system software or the operating system. And the second one is the application software or the apps itself, okay? And their relationship with one another is like um, the system software is the house of application software. Okay. We cannot run an application without a system software or operating system. Okay. But they both observe uh, the principles of user interface. And we have here four basic of user interface principles. They are created so that will become user-friendly, intuitive, and effective to convey their functions. So consistency, navigation, search, and learnability. Now, there are other principle of user interface such as personalization, content, and feedback. But for the meantime, we'll focus on these four categories. Okay. So here is the consistency. Means that the interface design is in harmony and the same applies to all the screen. Okay, the same words, commands perform the same functions throughout the user interface. So if there is a tab, if you click it, you'll go to the other tab. So just like this one, the interface here is if it's lesson one, then summary. If you click the summary, then you'll see the summary of lesson one. Here in lesson two, if you click the summary, you'll see the summary of the lesson two, not the summary of lesson one. So that's an example of consistency. Harmonious yung design niya. And not only for the function, but for the aesthetic. Okay. So the login page is, the theme is color blue. And once you successfully log in into the software, the whole interface have a touch of blue. Okay? Medyo off naman yung consistency nun if yung login page is blue, then once you enter, the rest is color red. Okay? So there is no harmony if that happens. So consistency should observe the harmony and the that applies to all for aesthetics and function. Next is the navigation. So we have consistency, we have the navigation. This is what you observe, that the more advanced the software, the more simplified its navigation. Okay, mas malinis na yung navigation niya. Okay. So it means users can move around the menus, help files or other screens in a system. So imagine guys, the first time you use the Google, di ba? So Google, nakalagay pa doon yung mga yung images, yung front page ng Google. Then may nakalagay pa na, are you feeling lucky? Yun, may mga maraming clutter doon sa homepage ng Google. But once you visit Google right now, very minimalistic na. Search bar na lang yun nandun. Yung search. Pagka-search mo, doon mo lang makikita yung mga different tabs with your searches. You can move around the menus, help files or other screens in the system. And here is another prevalent feature of different types of software and system software. The search function that enables users to search keywords or the glossary if you're using the operating system or system software. The user interface should have a search function. Okay? So lahat ng apps natin na ginagamit have search function. It should provide multiple ways for users to make queries by groupings or sortings. The system should provide users preview to get a word in the correct page. Then lastly is the learnability. Okay? So focus lang tayo sa apat na principle of user interface. Next is the learnability. This is the actual documentation will comes in. Okay. So again, as mentioned during the syllabus presentation, that there are 3 levels of interaction with software and application. Diba? Una is you interact with the user interface. That's the first level. The second level is you interact with the user interface documentation. So ito yung second level part. So yung help tool, 'di ba? Doon sa mga different websites na yon, there will always be help okay button, and if you click that, that's where you'll see the documentation. Okay, so it means the system provides support documentation and help files to make the system easy to understand. So those are the 4 categories of user interface. Now here is your task. I will give you an activity where you will just need to I'll paste it sa GC natin. Pero here's the gist of it. Have you heard of the website Wayback Machine? Anyone? So Medrano heard it. Wayback Machine. Who else? No daw. Sabi ni Josie, you haven't heard of that Wayback Machine. So here it is, class. Okay, so here is the Wayback Machine. For you to access it, you just simply type Wayback Machine sa Google search and you'll arrive at this particular website, archive.org/web/ then you'll see the Wayback Machine. Then here you will be able to see what are the website looks like during the day. Okay, we can go back as far as 2005 nandiyan na yung isda. Sorry about that, class. So just like what I'm saying, this is the archive of YouTube. So we can go back as far as 2005, ang first interface ng YouTube. And let's compare it. Okay, sorry again. Okay, let's check the earliest interface of YouTube. June 14, 2005. What YouTube looks like back then. Okay, so ito yung earliest form ng YouTube during its first year as operational. Now let's analyze this using the 4 basic principles that we talk about. Okay, the consistency, navigation, search, and learnability. So we can be able to check the typography, the aesthetics, and the function. And let's analyze this. Okay, we have the search function here. Let's compare it to the current YouTube that we have. Okay, then let's check yeah, the consistency, and let's check the learnability. There's no help. Okay, this one. Let's check what it all looks like. Okay, so here we have the documentation, earliest form of documentation in YouTube. What kind of videos can I upload? You may upload kind of videos that you'd like to share to the world. How long my video be? Less than 100 MB in size. Can you imagine that? Pero ngayon, yung mga video na in-upload natin, nasa 3 gigabytes, di ba? You can upload 3 gigabytes, 4K resolution. Pero dati, 100 MB lang. Okay, what video formats can I upload? .avi, .mov, or .mpg file formats. How can I improve my video? Okay, Movie Maker. Ito yung mga best practices on how to improve your video. Apple iMovie or Movie Maker. How do I link to my YouTube videos from my homepage? Yan. So yun yung mga FAQs, yeah, for the learnability. Now here are the pointers that we need to identify. Madali lang to, class. Ma-enjoy nyo to. Hindi man siya mahirap. You will create a simple instruction lang. First instruction. I'll paste the whole clip naman in RGC, but ito for the discussion purposes lang. Okay, so select a website, minimum of 2. Different types of websites, and example of it are e-commerce websites, social media, educator websites, etc. Now identify the oldest version of each website and compare it to the latest or the current. When I say latest, probably mga website na hindi na nag-exist, di ba? pwede nyo pa rin silang i-analyze o i-include. Wala na silang current version kasi wala na yung website na yun eh. Such as yung Friendster, di ba? Friendster is not functioning anymore, but we can still visit the website here in Wayback Machine. So we can include that. Okay? So yung latest version ng Friendster is probably no 2010 or 2011. Then compare it to the earliest build nung year 2002. So yun. Pwede yung mga website na hindi na nag-exist. Then, access nyo yung archive version niya doon sa Wayback Machine niya. And also, are you able to see class the word file I'm reading or not? Nasa Wayback Machine pa rin ba yung view nyo? Hi class.
Yes,
Yes po.
sir.
Wayback
Yes,
Machine?
sir. Wayback Machine pa rin po.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Now, that's the first instruction. And second one is identify the user interface principles, yung 4 basic user interface principles natin. For each website selected, focus on a specific user interface principles such as navigation, consistency, learnability, and search function. Then you will just need to create a comparison. So how would you create a comparison? Just answer these questions. How has the navigation structure evolved over time? Has it become more intuitive and user-friendly? So is there a consistency in design elements, layout, terminology between the two versions? Okay, how has the learnability of the website improved and changed over time? Are instructions clearer? And is the interface more user-friendly? In the learnability tab, okay, mas specific na ba yung ilang megabytes or yung file size na pwedeng i-upload? Then evaluate the effectiveness of search function in both version, the earliest and compared to the current or the latest. Has it improved? And if so, why? And how would you do that? You will just need to ito na yung last instruction. In a form of, okay, PowerPoint presentation. So the actual documentation of your findings, you will present it through a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so prepare a PowerPoint report documenting your analysis for each website. Again, minimum of 2. And include the following section. Okay, introduction, provide the overview of the assignment and the website selected. In comparison, describe the changes observed in each of the user interface, answering the questions above, these questions, between the oldest and the latest versions of the website. Then discuss the implication of these changes on user experience and usability. Then come up with conclusion and summarize your overall evaluation. So that's how you will do it. Okay. And okay. So the rubric, I simplified the rubric from 4. I just divided it into 3. So ito na yung new rubric natin for the reporting of the analysis of website user interfaces. So ito na siya. Yan. Remove pin. 40% accuracy. Okay, we're able to observe the correct user interface principles such as the consistency, navigation, search, and learnability. Okay, is your observation correct? Hindi mo ba nalagay sa learnability yung consistency and vice versa? And 40% is the clarity, the depth, and the delivery of your reporting presentation. And your another 20% is engagement. Okay? So kanina, class, I'm calling you out. Yung nag-present kanina, you have no engagement whatsoever, aside from Cheryl. But the rest, your engagement, uh, wala kayong engagement. So that's 20% of your grades. So that's crucial if you don't do include engagement in your presentation. Okay? So yan lang naman ang inyong gagawin. Do you have any questions? You can use visit different websites, or if you want, yung mga websites na familiar ka, na lagi mong ginagamit, such as, let's say, Shopee. Okay? Nasa Wayback Machine din yung archive ng website ng Shopee or Lazada. Pero of course, kung kailan lang sila nag-start. Noong 2017 or 2016, may Lazada na noon. So you can compare the earliest build of the website, Lazada, and to the current version. Okay? And answer these questions there that pasted below. Yan, yung mga websites na familiar kayo. Or even yung mga social media, even Instagram. Okay? You can use Instagram or yung mga website na binibisita nyo nung bata kayo, yung Y8, di ba? Yung mga kung saan kayo naglalaro. To the latest to the current build. Ano yung mga included na build nun. Or, pero of course, walang maglalagay ng mga ano, di ba? Obscene websites such as yung mga nakakadiring website, di ba? Dati nung high school kami, binibisita kaming website, yung Ogreish, di ba? Hanggang ngayon, natotrauma pa rin ako sa mga napanood ko dun eh. So, yun. Yung walang maganon, syempre, of course. Walang R18. Alam niyo naman yun eh. Yun lang. Mga familiar websites kayo. Mag-a-analyze lang kayo ng dalawang websites. Yung mga interface lang nun. Okay? So, may question ba kayo? Nan? Yes, Dave?
So bali, sa isang website, 4 yung i-discuss namin eh. Tapos, so bali 8, di ba sir?
Correct. Good question. Correct. That's correct. For each website, minimum of 2, you will cite those 4 principles. Okay? The principle of uh, search, learnability, and navigation, and consistency. So those 4 only. Okay? Any more question? Kailan yung presentation? Siyempre next week. No, class. I'm just kidding. Not next week kasi ano na yan eh. Probably vacation
Mahal
mode
na
na
araw
kayo
na
nun
yun
eh.
sir eh.
Oo nga, vacation mode na nga kayo nun. So,
Oo.
ang presentation is 2 weeks from now. Okay, so you have a lot of time to do that. Si Chantal, may question pa ya? Chantal?
Sir, may question daw po si Sir,
Ay,
chat po.
hindi ko nakita. Wait lang ah. Naka-on kasi yung calendar ko. Sir, yung time frame po ba simula nung day na nagawa yung website to the latest? Not necessarily. Okay? Kasi yung mga earliest build, medyo hindi na ano yun. But basta at least the earliest navigation, navigate, you're able to navigate na build ng website na yon. For example, yung YouTube, 'di ba? 2000 may 2004, 2005 archives. But acceptable yung mga nasa 2006, 2007. Okay? Basta yung layo niya is you can consider earliest build. Okay? First 3 years na operational yung website na yon compared to the current or the latest. Kasi kapag medyo malapit, medyo wala nang pinagkaiba yun, di ba? Kung yung build na pinili mo is 2018 compared to now, so almost no difference. So I suggest to the first 3 years, okay, of the website, that's where you start. So ganun, class. So indicate nyo dun sa presentation. First 3 years. But that's a good question. Okay. What else? No question? Okay. So if you don't have any more question, let's open our webcam and take a picture that will serve as your attendance for today's session. Pwede ngang ano mga website ng mga school nyo. Kung kunyari, nag-senior high ka sa UST, yan. Yung website ng UST, kung kailan siya first na build compared to the current one or sa PUP, you can use PUP, di ba? So yan, those are probably the challenge there is to choose a website that you are familiar with, that is close to you. Okay, Vanessa, John Mark, Cheryl, Mata, Urban, Ben, Max, kindly open your webcam. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and Ben, nakatagilid ka. Ano mo yung landscape mo yung, ayan. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay. So goodbye, class. See you later. 3 p.m. Bye.
Bye po, sir. See you po.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, sir.